Growing up, we didn't have Uber or Lyft. If you needed a ride, you were pretty much at the mercy of public transportation. Taxis were like Uber and Lyft in that they were the quickest transportation option, but also the most annoying to get a hold of. It wasn't as easy as it is now with just a tap on your phone and magically summon a car. My dad had a car, but he was always working, leaving my mom to handle everything else, which included the groceries and to take care of her precious little angels. This reminds me of the day when we were on the bus. My mom was holding my little brother while trying to juggle the stroller and groceries. As we were getting off, I was the last one left on the bus. Just as I'm about to jump off, the bus door slammed shut right in my face. I see my mom's eyes widen in horror. Meanwhile, I'm just standing there like, well, guess this is my life now. The bus starts driving off. My mom, panicking, starts chasing it down the street. After what felt like an eternity, like 10 seconds, the entire back row stands up. Stop the bus! The child was left behind! Driver slams the brakes and I'm reunited with my family. Fast forward to first grade, we moved to the suburbs and suddenly it's like we landed on a completely different planet. The grass is greener, the houses are bigger, and there I am about to take my first ever ride on the school bus. Back in the city, my school was just a block away, so walking was the norm. But here, oh boy, I had no idea I was about to step into a side quest every single morning. We were the last stop on my route, so by the time I got on, every seat was taken and any empty spots were saved by backpacks. You'd think just ask them to move it. Easy, right? Well, I did, but they would just look at me like I was speaking another language. On a good day, they would move their backpacks just enough for me to awkwardly wedge in, but on some mornings, it was a battle, me versus a grumpy big kid. I mean, come on, I wasn't a morning person either, but I didn't act like I wanted to bite someone's head off. I swear I wouldn't. In the city, bus stops were everywhere, super convenient, but in the suburbs, it was like they took a bunch of pins, dropped them randomly on the map, and were like, yeah, these are your bus stops now. Good luck if the bus goes even remotely close to where you need to go. My mom was determined to make the bus situation work. Every time she'd say, this will be a quick trip, but we both knew it never was. Somehow, each trip ate up half the day, and that wasn't a good day. Now you're probably wondering, how far did we have to walk? Well, it must have been pretty far because our neighbors started to notice. Eventually, they offered my mom rides. They meant well, but let's just say our neighbors didn't miss a single thing on our block. Finally, my parents threw in the towel and got a second car. Right when I stepped into the car, the passenger princess within me was awoken. No more endless waiting, no more long walks, no more stress over finding a seat. In 6th grade, I finally got my first cell phone. I could finally walk places on my own. But the real fun stuff, that was in the city. The fastest way to get there was by train. Since my mom never used it, I had to figure out the whole train thing on my own. I'd grab my Google Map printouts as my GPS because back then flip phones were as smart as a potato. Once I figured out the whole train thing, I realized you ride alongside all kinds of people, and every now and then you run into someone truly unforgettable. Like this one time, a guy waddled onto the train, shuffled right past me and my friends towards the back. We didn't think much of it until we heard a strange sound, and there it was, the Yellow River slowly trickling towards us. Needless to say, we sprinted out of there as fast as we can. That's when I knew I needed my license. My high school offered this driving class that was a cheat code to skip the whole DMV driving test. Get an A in the class? Boom, no DMV hassle. Perfect, right? Especially for someone like me, who prefers blending into the background thanks to my shyness and social anxiety. So I signed up for the summer crash course, but of course there was one catch. I still needed to get my permit first, and to do that, I had to go to the DMV and pass the written test. I studied like my life depended on it. My confidence was through the roof, but then as we got closer to the DMV, the nerves started creeping in. So we're standing in the painfully long line, and I'm already regretting every life choices that led me here. When it was finally my turn, I noticed I didn't have my ID. I searched my pockets, looked everywhere, and my ID was just gone. My dad was staring at me with daggers, and I'm over here wishing I could evaporate. Luckily, I had my social security card as a backup, so crisis averted. I got my ticket and waited for what felt like forever. When they finally called my number and got my exam, I looked at the first question and the words started to blur together. Meanwhile, everyone else was breezing through the exam like it was nothing. When I finished, I handed the test to the lady, and she's going at it with the red pen. X everywhere, just bam, bam, bam. Study from this and you won't have any issues next time. As soon as I got back to the car, my dad went full lecture mode. I'm sitting there nodding along, and guess what I see sticking out of the seat pocket? My freaking ID. Yep, it was there the whole time. For my next attempt, I was not playing around. I picked a weekday knowing most adults would be working, and I can skip the crowd. I dragged my mom right when they opened. Feeling relaxed, I took the test and I finally passed. I can start driving now. So it's finally the day to get my book for class, and naturally things couldn't go as smoothly, could they? Our car decided it was too hot to even function. Like seriously, it just wouldn't start because of the heat wave. And to add more to this problem, I had to go to a completely different high school that was of course way farther away. But that day, the heat and humidity were just too much for me. So I thought, I'll deal with it when class starts. No point stressing about it now, right? But oh no, my mom whipped around so fast. Hold up, you think you're just gonna waltz into class unprepared? Absolutely not. That packet says you need to get that book right now. And just like that, I was sent on a journey to the bookstore, completely drenched in sweat. All right, everyone, study harder, practice harder, and you'll breeze through this class. Oh yeah, just so we're all clear, the only way you can bypass the driving exam is if you take the class during the school year and get an A. Okay, who needs their books? Let's take a little walk to the bookstore. Looking back, I have no idea how I survived those endless driving practice sessions and my first nerve-wracking highway experience, which was one of the most terrifying things I have ever done as a teen. Somehow I managed to pass the class. Oh, I forgot to tell you the worst part. On the first day of class, our teacher handed out a driving hour sheet, basically a log my parents had to sign every single time we practiced. Without it, I wouldn't even be able to take the driving exam. Practicing with my parents was like trying to defuse an anxiety bomb while blindfolded. My mom panicked over every little thing, while my dad acted as if I was driving in a Fast and Furious movie.
Pay attention to the road and use the Clarkson when you get out of the alley. We are not in the alley. And what is a Clarkson? You don't know what a Clarkson is? The only Clarkson I know is Kelly Clarkson. Look, that is a Clarkson. Don't look at me. Look at the road. I can't do this if you keep starting an argument. And it's not called a Clarkson. It's a horn.
Warning. Dissociating. Warning. Dissociating. Shifting to autopilot.
After too many stressful rides, I decided I was done. I'd rather walk in the rain than get in the car with my parents again. I'm leaving for work. Go drive with your mom. It's the perfect time. We should go now while the streets are empty. My sister had already survived driving with my parents, so she knew how stressful it was. When she saw me dodging every chance to get behind the wheel with them, she came up with a brilliant idea. Why not just hire a professional driving instructor? So I signed up for lessons, and on day one, my instructor said, I don't even know why I'm here. You're ready for the driving exam tomorrow. Next thing I knew, I was at the DMV taking the driving test. No prep, no warm-up, just pure panic. We did one lap around the DMV building, like literally just circle the block. And when we pulled up into the parking lot, he told me to park. He goes, all right, you passed. They snapped my picture, grabbed my license, and basically shoved me out the door with it. Finally, after a year of stress and emotional damage, I did it. I had my freedom. What can I get for you? Hi, can I get a double cheeseburger with everything on it and cheese fries? That's all. Thank you. But then adulthood hits me like a brick to the face. Suddenly, driving didn't feel like freedom anymore. Gas isn't free. You need insurance. No stickers, no plates. Your car's not going anywhere. It was like buying a magic carpet, only to find out it doesn't fly without a bunch of expensive potions. The older you get, the more stuff just keeps piling on. Like those red lights on the dashboards. What do they even mean?